Welcome to the Disneyland Forever podcast, your source for all things from the happiest place on earth. For more updates, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Disneyland Forever, and you can check out our website, disneylandforever.com. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's Jordan.
And Daniel.
We're back from our cruise.
Yes. We went from Galveston,
where it was cold and wet.
It was like 45 or so when we left. Went to Progreso, Mexico, and
where it was like 85.
85 with like 50% humidity. Then went back to Galveston.
Where it was like 30.
It was 38. The wind chill said it was 17.
There we go.
And then yesterday, after we got back, so like 2 days after we got back, it snowed 6 inches.
But we were not there.
No, thankfully not.
But here, it's been dreadfully cold.
Yep. And still no snow.
No.
I mean, we got a little bit the other day.
Well, it's too cold to snow.
Yeah.
It's been lovely. So, like, we enjoyed the cruise, but, like, So now we're trying to get back into life. It's great. Hooray. So what we wanted to talk about today, it's too cold to banter too much. What we want to talk about today is we want to talk about planning for busy times, because there's a particular weekend coming up next weekend that made us think about this. And I know that people always tell you, you need to be flexible with your dates. You're going to go to Disneyland to find the least busy time to go, which is always ideal. But we also know not everybody has flexibility in their schedules.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just you got to go when you got to go. So if you find out, we want you to know ahead of time if it's going to be busier, some things to look for that usually make it busier, and how to plan for that if that is going to be the case during your trip.
Yeah, if you're like, I've already booked my flights, I've already booked my tickets, I've already done all this.
Or this is the only weekend I can go.
Yep.
Then
you're stuck, and so hopefully we'll have some tips to get around that and still function or as best as you can.
Yes. Before we get into that, we do have a new review.
We do. It's from Sam Gels or Gels.
I have no idea.
They said, new Disney news podcast. It's one of the greatest podcasts I've ever heard about Disney. And then they said later, you did a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you to those who have left us reviews. There's been some people that have actually told me maybe we need to start checking out Audible. Some people have said that they left us reviews on Audible. I'm like, there's a review, or maybe they could have meant ratings.
Yeah,
because me, I sometimes don't always get that right. Sometimes I say ratings. But
You've done
reviews.
Pretty well for months.
Actually, I have, but maybe we should check those as well and see. We really do appreciate everyone who's done that, and for everyone who has taken the time to give us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify or Audible. Everyone who's taken the time to give us a 5-star review on Apple, and other apps as well. I know that there are other smaller apps that do reviews, and we really appreciate all of that. And for all you guys who share this with people that you know, because it helps us so much, and because we want to make sure that we're sharing things that help other people.
And evidently, the smaller ones are the only places you can find episodes before 2 weeks ago.
Apparently, yes.
Apple's like, you shall not listen to old stuff. It shall only be new stuff.
Should we do just a really, really brief cruise
Sure.
recap? So he mentioned a little bit about the weather. We're not going to get into the weather because the only other thing I'm going to mention about the weather, and it does have to deal with the first day on the cruise, which when we did our Miami cruise a few years ago where we almost missed the ship, this made us we haven't had that happen since, but still comes in my mind every time we get to go on a ship. But we were on the Magic, and we got on board the ship, and then the captain kind of told us about the upcoming weather and how that was going to affect the ship. And he told us, expect that it's going to be kind of rough today, but it'll get better tomorrow. And he was not kidding.
I was always leery of going on cruises again. I went on one in Hawaii when I was 8 years old, and it was terrible and had no stabilizers. Evidently, it was a ship that used to be a Navy ship, and then they repurposed it to a cruise ship. It was terrible. So most of the time I do fine. When it starts moving a little bit, my equilibrium kind of goes off. Don't really get horribly nauseous, but so this first day, I think it was bad. It was really windy in all of the Midwest and the South, and so the waters were very choppy. We were we had one thing we remember was we came out of the Walt Disney Theater
after
a
we
show.
watched Tangled.
Yeah, and there was just like 20 people in the hallway, and we all moved in one big swoop toward
the right,
toward the wall. Almost fell over all of us. So
it was just kind of funny to watch because it's like even if we were filming this with a camera that was moving along with us, so it looked steady, you would have been able to tell that the ship had moved because everyone in unison had to shift over to the same side.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like the Gulf of Mexico during January. There's just so many more storms going on.
I guess.
And so it's just...
Usually it's pretty calm, supposedly, but...
As we got closer to Mexico, the closer and closer we got to Mexico, the calmer it was. By the time, that was the worst of it. The rest of it was nowhere near that bad.
Yeah, so we had 2 full days at sea, and then one day at Progresso. We did a excursion that went to a cenote. Is that what
cenote?
So that's like a sinkhole, if you've ever heard of those.
Filled with fresh water.
Yeah.
From underground. And you go swimming in them.
It was really pretty, really quaint. There was these tiny little fish that evidently someone in our group the kid was afraid of them. Like they're just tiny little fish, super cute. And then we went to Chichen Itza, which is one of the largest Mayan civilization ruins there. Really amazing, so cool how they did it. I don't know how they made it.
We had really, really, really good tour guides, and one of them said that he liked to talk. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
They talked for an hour and 45 minutes straight on the bus ride.
Yeah, getting out there was about 2 hours each way.
But it was really, really, really cool.
I won at bingo too.
He did win at bingo. Yes, we were very, very excited. And the funny thing was, we still did a lot of trivia on board the ship, and we do enjoy doing their trivia. But normally we win a lot. We didn't win a single trivia.
Nope.
Because there was one other couple. They never got a question wrong.
Yep, knew everything. And then for some of the other random trivia, you're only supposed to have groups of up to 4. There was a group of 803 that said they were
of 6 or 7.
Yeah, they were cheating, but that's okay.
Well, we don't know for certain.
Yes, we know.
Well, we think so, but it was still fun. I mean, we usually came in second a lot,
and we have plenty of those
trivia.
Weird rubber medals. But
it's just also like I was so frustrated. I'm like, just once,
win
and it was the
once.
same couple each time. But I'm like, yeah, it's all good. It's fine. It was just kind of funny.
We have been that couple, and people probably
we
hate us.
have, but we did really well. There was just a couple times where I'm like, oh, I missed that stupidly. Should have thought through that, but it's all good. It was a fun trip. We met we were sat with 4 really, really, really awesome people at our table.
Yeah, 4 ladies, so 2 and 2, both friends with each other. And
2 from Texas and 2 from Maryland.
Yep.
And so
nice. And
they were super fun. We enjoyed getting to
shout
hang
out to
with
you
them.
if you started listening to the podcast. I have to give an unsolicited plug to everyone that we meet that are Disney fanatics.
It was funny. No, they were. It was just every night was really fun. We kept running into both groups over and over again, which aboard the ship, and so we had a lot of fun around that too. Just remember, if you're ever going on a Disney cruise and there's just 2 of you or 1, you will be sat at a table with other groups of 1 or 2. But so far, every time it's been a great experience.
We're a little worried, are we going to like them? But we've liked them all so far.
I took it as a good sign when the one pair, the 2 ladies from Texas, they'd never been on a Disney cruise at all before, and after our first night, they were really nice and they were fun to talk to. And then the other 4 of us had been on multiple cruises. And so we knew that the next night we were all going to be sat together at the same table. And they're like, oh, wait, we're going to be at the same table? And we're like, yeah. Wait, so we're going to be with you guys all 4 nights? And we're like, yeah. And they went, oh, yay. I'm like, oh, that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. Oh, man. We have to be with you guys.
Yeah. So it was a really fun cruise. I'm glad that we went.
Yes.
And we are actually going to go on another cruise in April, but we're going with a bunch of friends.
That one was planned long ago.
Which we've never done a Disney cruise with friends before. It's only ever been the 2 of us. Yep. So I'm very excited to be able to go with a whole group of friends and their families, which is going to be super, super fun.
And then we won't be going on a cruise for a while because they're expensive.
Well, this one's paid with DVC points.
Yeah, that's true.
Which helped a great deal. We would not have done 2 cruises so close to each other had it not been for that.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into the news. So the first one that I'm sure you noticed, it was last week, is that they have finally reopened the Haunted Mansion, just the regular Haunted Mansion. So this is the first time since 2023? Yeah, because it closed down in 2023 for the Haunted Mansion holiday. Then all of the first half of 2024, it was closed. Then when it reopened in 2024, it was the Haunted Mansion holiday again. So this is the first time we've had the regular Haunted Mansion since 2023. And they did make some changes inside. One that everyone was like really worried about is they said that they updated the hitchhiking ghosts. They did update them. Like, you can tell that they have improved the mechanisms, but they're still working the same as they always have. It's only
the ones that a ghost will follow you home to. The actual 3 guys are just the same.
I think that they may have like updated like some minor things, but
it's
nothing.
Not. Yeah, because they said they were going to digitize everything. It's the actual hitchhiking ghosts that are sitting there.
So when you're going past the mirrors, they've digitized that, but I think what they mean by it is it's not like they look any different. It's like they fade into the mirror in a different way than they used to.
Yeah.
And if you got to see how they faded in on the Haunted Mansion holiday, it's the same basic effect.
Yeah.
So you're probably not going to notice a huge change,
it just
other than
better.
it's crisper.
Yeah. Because I was worried, and I think other people were worried that it was going to be like Disney Worlds that, like, in theory would be cool when it's like, takes both of your heads and
it doesn't work very well.
Rearranges them, but it doesn't work well. So
yeah, but that's not what they did. It just made it easier to see. It's much cleaner. The biggest change is the bride. They have retired Constance Hatchaway, A, because the technology was outdated, but B, they felt that the imagery was way too violent because, she killed her husbands, which I think it's unfortunate.
And
they
holding
did
an
that.
axe.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate they did that after they made the movie, where Constance Hatchaway is a big part of the movie. Yeah, but anyway, so they changed it where it's a bride that she floats in the air and has like a candelabra. I haven't looked at it really closely as I kind of want to be surprised a little bit. But they did, like, the attic scene is very different because of it, and it's very up-to-date technology to make this effect work.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I know that she's not in the same place that the bride used to be. I will say that. She's not in the same location.
And then there's they possibly will be getting rid of or changing the hanging thing in the stretching room.
They said that they've been looking into it for years. They still haven't decided. Basically, they haven't decided what they want to do yet. And so until they decide if they want to change anything, they're not touching it, is what they've said.
Yeah.
For the most part. So that scene is not gone, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be gone at some point. I don't know how I feel about that. It depends on how they change it.
For like 25 to 30 years of my life, I would have never even thought that it's problematic. But then once people said that, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess. So.
Yeah, I'm a little confused, but it's what it is. So the next thing is I don't know exactly what this is, but I think I'm in the right spot. They have debuted some new menu offerings at the Red Rose Tavern. I only feel like I want to bring this up because they're so wildly different than what the Red Rose Tavern has been doing.
Yeah, so it's just for dinner. They changed it.
Apparently, because it's not on the lunch menu.
Nope.
I'm glad that you saw that too. I'm like, I didn't just miss it, did I? No, it's only available for dinner. And they call them fair folds. It's just a tortilla wrap filled with things. Like, it's a tortilla wrap. To me, it sounds kind of Taco Bell-ish, but
ding.
They have the chicken, spicy chicken, or burger Fantasyland fair fold is what they're called. So the flour tortilla is filled with either chicken, spicy chicken, or burgers with hash browns, cheese, sauce, and pickle aioli or burger sauce.
What in the heck is a chicken patty?
I think it's like a chicken burger patty.
Oh, okay.
And like ground chicken patty.
That does not sound appetizing.
I don't know how I feel about these. They sound like they're probably really good, but I'm also like, I don't know where this came. It's like out of left field.
Yeah, totally strange. Let's change the menu from lunch to dinner. Why?
I think they also have a different dessert. I can't remember where the desserts are. There was a cheesecake that they added as well. It's somewhere. There it is. No, is it? I don't know where it's at. But they added some sort of... Oh, the salted caramel butter cake sundae. There it is. With vanilla ice cream, salted caramel, and pretzel sticks. That's new too.
Did they still had flatbreads though, right? I think I saw.
For lunch they did. Oh, yeah, there's flatbreads here, yeah. Everything else that was on the menu for Well, okay, so what it is, apparently the flatbreads are still for both lunch and dinner, but then the
Like they have
dinner
fewer
stuff, they have
flatbreads.
fewer things for lunch.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to. They have fewer things for lunch than they do for dinner.
And the flatbreads, there's not as many for dinner because they have the other.
So the other chicken sandwiches and stuff they used to have, which is unfortunate. I like that sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not there. Okay, then I'm glad that you noticed this because I forgot. The Lunar New Year celebration is in full swing at California Adventure right now. And so that means that with that comes the pre-show, the hurry home pre-show for World of Color.
Yes.
We've literally never had a chance to see that.
I don't think we have. We've been there during Lunar New Year.
But then we didn't go to, because I think we didn't go to World of Color for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, well, maybe someday.
So it's just a little pre-show that's specific to the Lunar New Year, and they do it every year. But yeah, we've never seen it. I don't know why. How does that work out that we have never seen it? We're there all the time. Actually, we've only done the Lunar New Year twice?
Maybe. I can only remember
Because one time, I think it was the last 2 days.
Oh, yes, that's right. The first time we were like, wait, what?
The first time we were there in the middle of it, and the second time we barely caught it. But usually we're not there during this time of year. This is usually when we go to Florida, which, speaking of, we're going to go to Florida in a couple weeks. So
That's because it's not 150 degrees this time of year.
I'm not really arguing with that. Okay, so now we want to talk about busy times. So again, let me talk about this. This is here's an example of what we're talking about, like in the situation where you're just like feeling like your hands are tied. A number of years ago, it was almost 10 years ago now, we wanted to do a big family trip with my family to Disney World. And when we were trying to figure out the times that we could go, we were suggesting the last week of May. Because it was a lot cheaper for us with Disney Vacation Club points and everything. And everyone was okay with that. But I had one sister who she just really could not take that week off of work because it was the last week of the school year and she was going to have to pay a whole ton of money. She was going to lose a lot of pay if she was gone that week. And so we had to move it to the following week. And we didn't want to go any later because it was going to get hot and it was in June and it was stupid. Yeah. But
so it was the first week of June.
It was the very first week of June. And it was kind of our hands were tied because that was the only week that everyone could go. And so we had to make the best of that situation, even though things were more expensive and it was busier and it was hotter. That's the sort of situation I'm talking about, where you don't have, ideally you want to have your dates flexible so you can look up when it's going to be busy, when it's not, and then adjust things as necessary. But we understand that sometimes that just doesn't happen. Or you find out about things, like Dan was saying, after you've booked a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we want to help you, give you some piece of advice to either help you if you know ahead of time that you're going to have to go when it's going to be busy, or if you happen to be going when it's busy.
Yeah. So first of all, there's a popular idea, and I've touted it too, to check the third-party websites that can do like crowd prediction calendars. What I would say is check at least 2 of them and make sure they agree with the time you're planning to go. If they both say it's going to be not busy, then you're a little more you have a little more confidence that it'll be an okay time. Mostly because Jordan's sister wanted to do a group trip with all of his family and decided upon a time next week, right?
I think it's this weekend
or whatever. Yeah, and then Jordan's like, "That's the Run Disney weekend," and she's like, "Oh, I checked a crowd calendar. Yeah, a crowd calendar."
I found that crowd calendar, and the problem is, like online, everyone's comments were just disparaging it because they're like, "You've missed the
Certain
Run
things.
Disney weekend.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have it listed as existing. It's not." So they planned this trip under the impression that it's going to be not busy this weekend when there's a Run Disney race.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about specifically how that impacts those weekends because it's a completely different beast. But if they had checked multiple crowd calendars,
Someone would have picked it up.
Someone would have noticed, oh, that's the Run Disney weekend. That's going to be busy.
And then in general, it's a good idea to check the Disneyland's calendar itself on their website or the app, because they'll show if there's random special ticketed events or like they specifically will say certain things are going on. So you want to make sure that it's not like shortened hours or some weird thing that's unforeseen. Often like people will or companies will buy out the park for the evening. And so it just says
randomly
special event and you just didn't know that. So in general, you want to avoid any sort of federal holiday day. So Martin Luther King Day, President's Day,
Memorial Day is often that way.
Yeah, so like an actual holiday,
Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day.
New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. Ugh.
Yeah. But then there's also, if you've heard of them, the grad nights. So in May mostly, I don't think they do any in
May and
April,
June.
a little bit early June. So schools in the Southern California area will essentially pay for like their students or send their students to go to these events at California Adventure only in the evenings. And so it does shorten the hours of California Adventure, and then thus, since Disneyland's the only park open, it shifts a lot of the regular crowds over there. So in general, you may want to avoid those particular days, but those are kind of hard. If May's your only time you can go, then just maybe try to have a few of the days that are not grad night days.
The nice thing about grad nights is that they don't book up the hotels.
No.
And they don't, the traffic isn't necessarily worse. It's the foot traffic they will experience in the park.
And the annoyingness of teenagers.
Sometimes they're annoying, sometimes they're not. Unfortunately, that depends on the day.
Yes.
But on those days, if you know there's a grad night day, you may have already said this because I was looking at something, I'm sorry, but like, I would suggest more Disneyland.
Yeah, just like
that
focus
day.
more on Disneyland.
Because they definitely will be at California Adventure, but they may not be at Disneyland.
And depending, because they have different plans for
And that's
them.
why.
They'll so some of them will have park hoppers. Some will just be for the grad night event, so they won't necessarily be at Disneyland earlier in the day, but. Yeah.
They either get the option of doing just DCA, or they have the option of just doing the party and DCA, or doing the party with the park hopper.
Yep.
And those are
fewer, but
Disneyland is going to be less grad night people because of that.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way they can get in that park is with the most expensive option. There's also certain they're not official. They're unofficial Disney fan events that are always held at Disneyland, and oftentimes they even like do expos along with them at the Disneyland Hotel, like at the convention center there. But they're officially not Disney events. And one of the biggest ones is Dapper Days. They're one weekend in April and one weekend in November. You can just like Google Dapper Day Disneyland, and it will show you their scheduled dates. But this will book up all the hotels.
Yes.
And walking around the park is going to be a nightmare. And
a lot of people
just
walk around, show off their dapper clothing.
They're not really interested in going on any of the rides.
Some of them do,
but not most of them.
But yeah,
you'll be able to tell if you didn't know that you're there for a Dapper Day. You'll know when you walk in. Because they're dressed really, really fun, and I want to be there on purpose on a Dapper Day. Of course, I did go once on a Dapper Day, and I didn't know it.
Accidentally, yes.
Oh, I was
and
so
you
frustrated.
didn't dress up.
Because I didn't know it, and I felt stupid that I'm finally here for a Dapper Day. But they won't necessarily like crowd up the rides. Not everyone wants to be on a ride. They mostly want to be in the park with food, taking pictures, but they do book up all the hotels.
The hotel. It's one of those times, so like if you're looking, let's figure out when we're going to be staying at a particular hotel, and for some reason some weekend or some day is way more expensive for those hotels. It's something like that probably.
Similar thing are the gay days. It's an unofficial thing, but usually there's like 2 weekends a year. One of them's in June. The funny thing is last year it did not coincide with Pride Night. It's an unofficial thing. It does put more people in the parks. It's usually not as much of a problem as Dapper Day. Because I think a lot more of them are locals. So it might just make traffic a little bit worse, but it's something to kind of be aware of. But that one because everyone wears red.
Yeah. And then every 2 years there's D23 Expo in August usually.
It's been different. Typically it's been August, but we've been there when the one year was in July.
Obviously that's only every 2 years, but it's very crazy. Like the hotels will be extremely expensive. There'll be traffic everywhere. During the convention, during the day, it's not quite as busy in the parks, but in the evenings it's just terrible, like the worst, because everyone goes over.
Not everyone, but it does get worse. I would say particularly the day before and the day after.
Yes.
Those are the worst dates. If you're going to be there during the D23 Expo, I wouldn't say during the Expo it's necessarily so bad. Getting a hotel is, but not being in the parks. But the day before and the day after are terrible. And
then there's other very large conventions that happen. So I would hope that the crowd calendars, if you look at a few of them, might know some of those. You can always look at the Anaheim Convention website if there's something.
I was going to say, one of the problems, though, is that sometimes it books up the hotels, but it doesn't impact Disneyland.
Right.
And so sometimes you might be, why are the hotels so expensive? There might be a major convention going on, and they are taking all the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Just to be aware. It's probably not as huge a deal, but...
Now, with the Run Disney weekends, these ones are unique things because they will book up like as soon as the reservations are available to book hotels, people book their hotels.
Yeah.
They happen twice a year, usually in January and September. And not only does everyone book up all the hotels, when you're there for the actual race weekend, everyone's in the parks. And in the mornings, it can make traffic a nightmare because they have to close off all the roads. And that could also mean foot traffic might not have the easiest time getting around.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot to deal with. You might go first thing in the morning and be like, oh, there's really no one here. Give them a little bit. They just ran a half marathon.
Yeah,
they're going to go back and nap for a couple of hours.
Recover a little bit, and then they'll be there. Yeah. This was the case in Walt Disney World. We went a couple of years ago, and
just this last year we were there for the race weekend.
Yeah, it was so. And
we didn't know, of course.
And our bus driver, because even though Disney World is freakishly huge and there's lots of roads, they had to take these weird routes to get to places.
Oh, that one, yeah, that was bad. So look for those, and like I said, that one is a different thing because the roads are going to have to be closed first thing in the morning. You may not experience this, but chances are you will. That it's going to have some closures somewhere you have to get around. Makes things fun.
So if by chance you have already booked and you are locked into a time and then you're like, oh crap, it's going to be busy, what do you do? Definitely get to the parks early. In general, no matter what time of year, no matter what event is going on, the earlier you get there, you get more done. And then as people trickle in, depending, like with this Run Disney event this next week, as Jordan said, they'll get busier in a few hours, but you do have a few hours of not busy. Try to shop around. So definitely still use our partners at Getaway Today, but also check other websites make sure you get the best hotel price. Sometimes during these events, you'd have to be a little further away, but then you can also see if they have a shuttle or part of the art.
Yes, actually, it's a really good point.
Save you money.
Using art shuttles are going to be a big thing. I know you might be thinking we really want to stay on Harbor Boulevard. Everyone's thinking that.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're willing to stay just a little bit further back, when I stayed there with Getaway and I was at the Suncoast Park Hotel, it's really not that much further away. It's not on Harbor at all. It's actually like a block and a half down or west of Harbor. Nope, east of Harbor.
Yeah,
I don't know my directions.
Toward I-5.
But actually, it took me only 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes. I think it was 10 minutes with waiting to cross the street.
Nice.
To get to the park. So it really actually was just as far away as, say, the Spring Hill Suites.
Yeah, there really are tons of hotels, and you don't have to just be on Harbor or Catella.
But if you're willing to go a little bit further away, the Cambria Hotel is really big, so they're not going to fill up super fast, and you can just get the art shuttle from there.
Yep.
Or maybe there's some hotels that are on the other side of the 5 that still use the art shuttle. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's going to be a little bit more investment to use the art shuttle, but it might be worth the savings that you get on the hotel to pay for the art shuttle. And a lot of these hotels are also going to offer free breakfast anyway, so you also could save yourself money by not having to ever buy breakfast. Yeah,
so just do your research, look at different pricing. If possible, so not only just the art shuttle, but find alternate ways to get there. If you're staying on property or you're going to be able to park at your resort for not a horrible price, then once you're able to just park, it'll be easier to get around because you still can walk. I mean, it's going to be busier, but...
I will also just do a plug. Some hotels will charge parking unless you're actually staying there with Getaway. I'm just throwing it for some hotels. That's actually a perk they give just to Getaway Today bookings, that you get free parking.
So look
or
into
discounted parking.
Yeah. But yeah, some hotels, they'll charge $35 a night, and then you're like, oh, I guess it really isn't cheaper to stay at this place.
Yeah, so be aware of that.
But yeah, I mean, be flexible too. So it kind of depends on if you have park hoppers and one park's getting super busy for some reason, then just switch your plans. Don't be locked into certain things. Kind of go with the flow.
Another advantage sometimes to this when you're saying be flexible is, say you just really can't afford the park hoppers. If you went for one of these further away hotels, a lot of them offer things like small water parks or other perks at the hotel. And so maybe it's go early, get things done at the park, and when it's crazy busy and you just can't handle
go back to the hotel.
Go back to the hotel for some pool time. Maybe that's just an option. I know not all of them have that, but there's some that have other amenities at the hotel that the ones closer to Disneyland don't necessarily offer.
But yeah, really, especially if you're not going to be paying for... what's it called these days? The Magic Express Fast
Multipass
thing.
Magic Express
Fast
thing.
If you really try to get there right when the park opens, because those first 3 hours, you're going to get 10 times more done than you would if you went from 11 to 5. You have more time in the middle of the day, but you're not going to get much done. So, and it's hotter often.
Yeah. I would also say really look into multi-day tickets. I know there's some people we're buying one-day tickets. I don't know what your plans are. You might be thinking we're just going to spend one day there. Really consider multi-day, because sometimes it actually would be cheaper for you to get a multi-day ticket than a single-day ticket, because you could be here on a tier 6 day. Yeah. And tier 6 days are very expensive. And so you might even be like, hey, we weren't going to do 2 days, but it's only going to be $60 more if we bought a 2-day ticket instead of a 1-day ticket. So why don't we just...
Depends on the tier, for sure. And why
don't we just get 2 days, and then you can spend a few hours before you leave the next day or something like that.
It happens every single trip we're there, where we go on one day and we're like, oh, this isn't that bad at all. And then the next day, for some reason, even though it's probably still a weekday, we're like, oh my goodness, this is so crowded. Or vice versa. You go the first day, you're like, oh, it's crap, this is terribly busy. And then maybe the next day will not be. So that it's not always consistent of these particular days in a row will be super busy if one was. So having the park reservation system has definitely limited the amount of people in. And so it's a little more predictable of that it's not going to be so terribly busy on a given day. So
speaking of park reservations, obviously the park reservations are going to go a little bit faster on these really busy days. So just really be on top of getting your park reservations as soon as you possibly can. I know that in Disneyland's website, obviously, you can make those. They won't let you buy a ticket without the reservation.
Yes.
If you do get it through a third party, just make sure that you are booking your reservations separately as soon as you possibly can. Keep your eye on those calendars so that you can get the park that you want, and be flexible. If you really wanted Disneyland that day, but only DCA is available, that doesn't mean you're not going to have fun.
Oh, I just thought of another day that's going to be horrible. July 17th, 2025.
Oh goodness. I will warn you, if you are not a Disneyland freak, do not plan on going there around July 17th, 2025. It is the 70th anniversary. And it's not even a show up when the park opens. There will be a line starting at 6 a.m.
Yep. To just get in
the park, because everyone's going to want to be there the entire day. So if you are a huge Disneyland fan, then do it, because you're gonna.
If it's probably gonna be bucket list item to do that, then do it.
But if you're just kind of casually going to Disneyland and you happen to be there during July 17th, 2025, no. Just don't. Go to Universal that day or something. Go to the beach that day. It's not going to be anywhere near as busy. Just kind of heads up.
Yep.
Thank you for thinking about it.
So, as always, it doesn't matter when you're going. Make sure you go with our partners at Getaway Today. They save you a lot of money. They know what the good deals are.
And they actually know all these days by heart.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I just thought about that. I guarantee you, if you just said, if you ask them, are we going to be there during Dapper Days? They're not going to look it up. They're probably already going to know the answer, because this is what they do.
Yep. And as Jordan was saying too, we were, where were we staying? Was it either the Anaheim Hotel? I can't remember where, a year or two ago. And a family next to us that was also checking in was saying they were through Getaway Today, and just the difference in the way the worker there was treating them. They're like, well,
that's true. They did actually.
Well, let's get you this and that.
They didn't quite exactly say it like that, but they did say, I see that you're here through Getaway Today, because they get a lot of business through them, so they like that.
So that might have been one. I don't know. I don't remember which hotels, but
I think it may have been
possibly the discounted, some sort of parking thing, or there's perks. So definitely use that.
And talk to them again. Talk to them about it. Say hey, what hotels will offer me free parking? Whether free parking themselves or free parking through you, they will tell you.
Yep.
If that's really important to you, they will let you know. And then they'll also help you with your tickets as well. Then make sure that you also subscribe to the podcast so you get new episodes as they drop.
And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. So
we're doing a little bit better.
A little better.
We're doing a little bit better, guys. And I think that's it for this week. I hope that you guys are all staying warm and
Yeah,
safe.
this cold front moved through like most of the country. I saw yesterday, on
snowed in
Tuesday,
Florida.
It snowed. It was like 6 inches in like northern Florida and like 3 inches in Jacksonville. I was like, oh my goodness.
I hope that you didn't all die.
Yeah, all the iguanas probably fell out of the trees.
Jeez. So yeah, seriously, I hope everyone stays warm. I know it's supposed to be getting warmer here in a few days. Not warm, but warmer. But anyway, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.